friends, it's Amy at Doki Doki Forest. Happy Easter if you celebrate Easter today. I don't know if you remember this book from last year. This is a book I picked up secondhand and I decided to turn it into an altered book. And when I first started it, I was making it like a glue book and just making it like spring in New England with all pictures of like bunnies and flowers, and you can still see Miss Jemima Puddle Duck there in the middle. And then I kind of started getting inspired by the pictures. I wanted to leave the original illustrations from Beatrix Potter, of course, but what I did was I looked at the pictures, read the text, and then I was trying to find images that matched what it was talking about. So like here we have this woman and she's feeding the geese and the chickens. And so I found pictures of geese or chickens, eggs. So the picture goes all the way to the bottom. A little story about the price of eggs, which now is funny because eggs are so expensive that it just may be cheaper to raise chickens on your own. And then over here, we have some animal friends because we have, you know, the barn here with the animal friends. So I would read the story and take some inspiration from the words. The other thing was that when I first got this book, there were stickers, like, see this little sticker here? There were these little stickers that the original owner put on the pages. And that encouraged me to, number one, go ahead and alter the book. But number two, I wanted to honor these original stickers and try to keep them in. Even if I had to lift them off the page, I wanted to put one back on each page if I could. So I did almost every page. There's only this 2-page spread. And then I think there's one more in the back. Yep, there's one more here that's a 2-page spread. And you can see some of the stickers. Unfortunately, some of them are ripped. So I don't know. I was going to see if I had like extras over here, I could put them because I don't see any of the stickers on these pages. But yeah, these are literally my last 2 pages in this book. I mean, I know it's 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I mean my 2-page spreads. So here's what we'll do. We will read the story here and here. We'll take our inspiration from the pictures and from what the words say. And then we'll decorate all around the picture. And I don't think I have a sticker to put on this page from the original owner, so I may have to find one of my own stickers. So that way at least there'll be some stickers on the page too. So let's read that. And then you're probably wondering, why is there a Japan crate on your desk? So these are crates that we would order and they would be filled with treats from Japan, all different stuff, and we had a great time. And the boxes were really pretty. Now, sometimes they'd get a little beat up from traveling or from the sticker being on there. The label for the post office would be on there. But the boxes were so nice, I've kept them. And so I use this sort of thing to keep different glue book collections in. So, you know, they're pretty good size. And so in here, I have my collection of images. These are all springtime images. And like I said, I started this last year. So these are all things I selected last year and haven't used yet in this book. And I haven't added anything new to it. So I'd like to use these up. I probably won't use all of them, but I have some other projects that I can hopefully use them up in. I'll try and see if they fit in the book. Whoops, I'm bonking my camera. Sorry about that. This is a little bit big. But yeah, I'm going to try to use up these images and then, you know, repurpose this for something else. Once this book is done, I don't know if I'll have another spring book or what I'll be doing next. So you never know. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's read our story about Miss Jemima Puddle Duck. And these are pages 6 and 7. She set off on a fine spring afternoon along the cart road that leads over the hill. She was wearing a shawl and a poke bonnet. When she reached the top of the hill, she saw a wood in the distance. She thought that it looked a safe, quiet spot. Jemima Puddle Duck was not much in the habit of flying. She ran downhill a few yards, flapping her shawl, and then she jumped off into the air. She flew beautifully when she had got a good start. She skimmed along over the treetops until she saw an open place in the middle of the wood where the trees and brushwood had been cleared. Jemima alighted rather heavily and began to waddle about in search of a convenient dry nesting place. She rather fancied a tree stump amongst some tall foxgloves. All right, so the words from here, I'm going to pick some words and then see if I can find images to go with it. So let's see, we know it's a spring afternoon. She's wearing a shawl and a poke bonnet. So I'm going to see if I can find any pictures of someone wearing a shawl or some sort of bonnet. It may not be exactly the same, but just the same kind of idea. And it says she doesn't like flying there, but she is flying here. So I could look for birds flying. Let's see, an open place in the middle of the wood where the trees and brushwood have been cleared. She likes the tree stump amongst some tall foxgloves. So I'm going to find some flowers and probably put some flowers all around because I know I have those pictures. I know I have pictures of birds. So maybe we can find some flying and decorate with those. And then, like I said, we'll find some bonnets or shawls. We'll see what we can find for that. So let me go see what I can find and then we'll come back and we'll do some gluing. Okay, so I found some images. I think what I'm going to do first is probably get the background on. Get like a bunch of flowers on here and then I can glue some other stuff on top. I found this path. It's not exactly the clearing like it was described in the book, but it is a cleared path with some flowering trees, so maybe that would work. I'm not sure. That might work. I don't know about that. So let's just see. I might just come in here and just glue, not think about it too much, just start gluing some things down and see how it goes. Could do something like that and like that. I feel like I want to just glue without overthinking. So this has a hard edge, so I could come in and put some flowers like that. Maybe some flowers poking out, maybe like that, to kind of like cover up that hard edge, because we don't want a hard edge on the flowers. And then I have these little ones. So yeah, we can just kind of build up our page that way. I can put this one over here. Maybe that's okay if there's some white of the page. That's okay. We don't really have to worry about that. We'll cover up what we can, but it doesn't really matter if we see some of this white background. This is like a little vellum paper I can kind of put on there maybe too. Oh, this is a nice big flower. This would be good. That would take up a lot of space very quickly. And so maybe I would put that like here. And what can I put in the background? Do I have some images? Oh, this is pretty too. Some more of the blossoms. I could do something like that and then that. And I could do that. I was going to say, if I don't use this here, I could use that like on a pink page in my colors glue book. So it'll get used up either way. And then we can have, let's see, we already have some flowers like that over there. Maybe we can put this over here, just kind of making like a little bouquet. Here's a little something here. But it's a great way to use up these flowers. Oh, here's another one here. This is interesting. I could put that there. And let me see, I have these flowers. This is more like a bouquet of flowers, but it's pretty. I could put it on there. I don't know. When I go to glue, I'll probably wind up doing something different. Oh, and then I found, before I glue actually, I found this nice lady with an Easter bonnet on. So she's dressed up, ready to go. So I could have her next to Jemima Puddle Duck. She's ready. And then I also found this picture. Look at this. They definitely are all dressed up. There's some bonnets here, some dresses. There's even a shawl. So how about that? I like this whole picture because I like these cherry tree blossoms here, but it's obviously too big to have everything. So I might have to cut out the girls and this branch separately. So, and I don't know if I want to keep the road or if I want to just cut them out and put them like on top. First, I'm just going to cut like this, and then I'll see how that looks, and I'll see if I want to cut more than that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut out the top. I am thinking I should cut out the bottom too, just so we can see more flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this bottom off as well. Okay, now I have cut them out from their background, and we can put them on like so, and they can be dressed up for the day's events. So I think we'll just start gluing and we'll see what happens. I probably won't have it the same way I had it before, but I think the best thing is to just get the flowers on there. And if I have an edge that's straight, I can put glue right on it. But if I have an edge it's like this, I won't glue it yet in case I want to tuck anything under it. So like this piece I know is going over here. So I'll glue on this side. I won't glue here yet, just in case I want to tuck anything under there. Oh, like this. Like I know I'm putting this down here. So actually let me glue that next. And this is all straight edges. So I can glue that whole thing because I know that's going to be underneath. That's not going to be on top because there's no fussy cutting or anything like that. So we can just go ahead and stick that on here. And we can lift this up because I didn't glue that part. Where does it fall? Right there. Okay. So we can just put that like right there. And that is great. So now I could glue this down on top, but I'm going to wait until I figure out what I'm doing here. So now I can glue those other flowers I was looking at. And then let's see, this can go like right here, kind of go right into this crack. Looks like this isn't quite cut even. Oh, you know what? I should have not glued that very top though, because I might, or I definitely am going to tuck something in there. So I think this was tucked in there. It doesn't have to be the same thing as before though. I could do that, but I need something to go on that. Oh, that's right. I think we had this. So let me glue this. Oops. Let me glue this in and tuck that in there. So I am starting to see some things getting buds out there. We do have crocuses right now, and some people have daffodils. Ours take a long time to bloom because they don't get as much sun where they were planted. So they take a little longer, but they'll get there. They'll get there and they'll bloom. We have this little jolly bird, a little sparrow. Very tiny, tiny. That's the other thing. I fussy cut these out last year and they're kind of getting a little bit wrinkly now. So that's why I want to go ahead and use these things, because if I don't, they're probably just going to get wrinkly and, you know, won't look as nice. I mean, that's one thing you can always count on finding a lot of, are flowers. There's always lots of flower images. I think I want to put this over, actually. I'm going to put this over this image here because this is so pretty. I want to make sure we see that. But yeah, it's one thing if you have a picture of something that like you may not be able to find too much of, like maybe a unicorn, something like that. But it's another thing if it's just flowers. I mean, they are in every magazine pretty much. So you don't really have to feel too precious about them. And you know, can always find some more. Maybe I want this little guy to be hanging out up here, actually. It's kind of cute having him sit and he's looking at Jemima Puddle Duck. I might actually do that. So do I want this one here, or do I want this one here? Or do I like this one over here. But I do want something in that spot. Do that, or I have a little birdie, so I could do that and have a little birdie sitting here. That's cute. Or here, I got a little birdie down there. Yeah, let's glue this. And you can't go wrong. Whatever you glue, it's going to be great. It's going to look amazing. Everyone could get the same images. We would glue them all differently, and we would look at each other's pages and be like, wow, I love what you did with that. I didn't even think of doing that. Okay, this little birdie, let's have them sitting right here. And we can glue this part down. I'm also, oops, I ripped that bottom part. A little glue, and maybe nobody will notice. And then I want this bird to be sitting on top of this, actually. There we go. Is that where I wanted the bird? Maybe like right there. There, I like that. All right. Oh, and I forgot about this little one. This little one that I showed you. Let's see. I don't know if that one has a spot yet. This looks like it's not yet. This is not glued down. Let's get that down so it doesn't rip. And let's get our hummingbird down. And I do like the hummingbird perched up here. And I still have these flowers too. I could put even more flowers. We could have them blooming off of the branch that the little hummingbird's sitting on. Yeah. What was my other bird? Oh, it was this one here. And we could have this one over here. We could put this one right there, singing as she's flying by. We could put some flowers behind them. Actually, I kind of like this here, though. Maybe I just don't want this to be as big as it is. Maybe if I just cut that off a little bit so we can still see the flower, and then that can go like that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And then we'll build our page on the other side. And we can come back to this one. We'll take a little break. Sometimes it's good to take a little break. And that's not where that was. There we go. They're admiring Jemima Puddle Duck flying by because I haven't seen her do that too often. Okay, so far so good. So let's move to this page now. And I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to put this one down first, because this one has like a little bit of bird there, right there at the bottom that I had chopped off. So we can go ahead and cover that up with another image. So let's put this on. And let's line it up with the bottom a bit. Let's make sure we kind of get down there. Let's get over as much as we can. Probably like right there is good. kind of tuck it into that center of the book here, into the crease. That's a flat edge, so I know I'm going to put that down. This I shouldn't have glued. I actually did, but it's okay. This will glue the bottom. Get that on the page, and then we'll leave the top because I don't know if I'm tucking something in. Put a little glue there as well. And we're going to put that like that right there. And I know it doesn't go all the way to the bottom there, but that's okay. And this I can glue on here. And then we'll leave that for now. So let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to use this picture of the hyacinths. That's really pretty. So we can have that going down the side there. Yeah, it was hard for me to start gluing in this book. I felt like, you know, oh, but it's a Beatrix Potter book. You know, I can't, you know, just go in there and do my own thing. I felt like I was being disrespectful to Beatrix Potter and her artwork and her story. But seeing those stickers that the previous owner had already decorated in here, it really inspired me and, you know, gave me the courage to start doing my own thing in here. Do I want this in here? It kind of looks neat, like a big old flower in there. Well, let's figure out, oops, I didn't want to glue that up because I wanted to tuck her in here. I wanted her to get tucked. Well, I could still tuck her in. I might just have to add something else. And of course, we have our girls here. I mean, they could be up there too. We could have them here with Beatrix Potter. Maybe I'm just going to do them like that. What do you think? Or should they be over here? Should they kind of be all around her? I think they could do like that. And I do really like this lady. I still want her to be right there. And then, oh, we have this little bird in flight too, this little chickadee. And it was talking about Jemima not flying too often. Oh, and this lady has a beautiful dress and a hat on as well. So she could be here. She could be... She would look very pretty as well. Where would she be? Maybe on this side? If I cut out a little bit. I want to get her arm, so maybe I would trim a little of this off. Let's see. Because she could kind of be framing Jemima on that side. That would look cute. I don't think I need this though. Let's get rid of this so we can see. We can see some more of the hydrangeas behind her. Yeah. So we could do like that. And this, we got everybody showing up for Jemima. Miss Jemima Puddle Duck. Oh, I just discovered I have some of these images as well. Ooh, I think that looks really good up there. And what else do I have? Oh, I have this lady relaxing in some tulips. So that's pretty. We could do, maybe she's flying over this lady relaxing in the flowers. I kind of like her better than this flower here. I think I'm going to glue her there. I'm trying to make the decision because I like this better. I like imagining that Jemima's flying by. And this lady's dressed up as well, and she's got the flowers, so she's got everything. She's got everything. And if I don't like these straight edges that she has on this picture, then I can always add more flowers to kind of make that a little more blended. Oh, look at this big bird. Big bird. I think this one's too big. That one I think is a bit too big. Then I have this little one. And we still have this one too. Can I make that work? It doesn't go this way, but could I? I mean, of course I could. Let me see if I can find some more flowers because I didn't pull anything else. Oh, wait. You know what I have? I have this like origami paper. I could put that. That would probably look better like on the side here or maybe on this side. Over here? Yeah, let's put that over here because that'll help cover this up and start to finish this page off. And then I can glue this down on top of it. And I could glue all of these things down. Do I want this? I want this like here. Like a big old flower blooming in the middle. And then she could still be here. Or is that kind of pointless because she takes it? I don't know. I kind of like it still back there. But I do need something else for this. So let me see what else I have and I'll be right back. Okay, I found a few more flowers to put on. And I also found this, which is like a tree stump. I mean, it's not exactly a stump, but it reminds me of what Jemima Puddle Duck had found. And so I thought we could just glue that right at the bottom here. Like Jemima's looking for that. And that's what she sees as she's flying by. So yeah, I wish I could cut this out. I mean, I could cut it out. Let's see. I'm going to see if this works somewhere else. And just I could put it here on that side. But I feel like I like it here. I like it blending in with this lady. I might just cut off a couple of these things. So that way we can see her. I don't want to cut off her face. But yeah, let's glue that there. I like that. I wanted to include something with a tree. All right, I have this. I don't even know what this is, but I'm going to glue it. I'm going to glue it right up here in this corner. This cool little flower. And it's got some more of that like hot pink. I have a lot of like pink and kind of hot pink colors going on here. So just going to put that right up in the corner, and I'm going to trim these images after. And then I can just glue that right on top like that. And let's see, we're going to need something over here under this flower. So I'm thinking maybe we can have that kind of coming in. I think that'll work. So let's glue that over there. And again, this is just a scrap from something that I cut out. So it's great because we can just put it in here and use that up. Then I have this piece. We were looking at this before, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that along the top because that'll just help finish off that edge. So this I'm just going to line up with the top here. Just do that. I don't care if I cover this. This is just to cover up the page. And then I found this cute bird. I thought they could be peeking in from the side. They could also be watching Jemima Puddle Duck, the big event of her flying. Just put this right here. There we go. And I still like this cardinal, so I think we can just go ahead and put them right there. Yeah, let's do that. I'm so excited to use up a lot of these images. And I'm almost finished with this book, and that's exciting too. It's always exciting to finish a journal or a book, especially where I'm kind of beginning some other ones right now. So it's good to finish a few of them. But at the same time, I do love to have different projects going because you never know what kind of mood you're going to be in, and it gives you options to play around in different things, different books, depending on what you're in the mood for. Like, I was not in the mood to do spring glue books. Like, I wasn't in the mood to do this sort of thing. And I kind of forgot about it, actually. And then I was going through looking at the boxes, like, what's in these? And I said, oh my gosh, oh yeah, how many pages do I have left? And then that's when I saw that I only had like 2 more pages, or 4 more, depending on how you want to look at it. And I still have these flowers too, so we could still stick those. Could even put them here. They kind of look nice over here to kind of like frame her. And let me just make that a little bit pointier. But I like how they frame her and then they soften the edge there. So yes, I'm going to put that there. You can tell how there was a part in this process where I was really thinking about things and kind of having a hard time gluing. And then there was a part where I was like, let's just glue. And then it got a little bit easier. So if you find a part of the process where you're getting stuck, then you might want to walk away, or you might just want to glue anything down just to get moving, because sometimes we can get in our own way. We get stuck, and then it can just be good to glue anything. And, you know, you can always cover it up if you decide you don't like it, but at least then you're doing something. All right, here's our lady here. I love this picture. So let's put her, yes, like that. She looks awesome. It is fun to go back and see what you've done too. So if you have an old journal, you know, an old sketchbook, an old glue book, it's really nice to go back and look and see what you did. It is an accomplishment. I really like that. I really like that. Okay. I am excited about that. The next thing I have to glue on is this humongous flower. Right? And then how much room does this lady take up? She's just going to go kind of, I'm going to just glue her over these flowers, because there we go. So she's going to kind of go like that. So I still have this space. I do have this little bit of flower. I don't think that will work there. It might work down in that corner. But I also found this scrap from something. So I could just glue that here. And then that way I'm kind of covered, hopefully. Just kind of glue that here, just to kind of cover up that part. And then that might look good. I don't know. That might look good. It might not. We'll see. Now I'm going to glue this big old flower down. Maybe I should have cut the stem off. I wonder if I should cut the stem off or leave it on. Let me see. Let me make that decision in just a second. All right, so cut this flower. It's going to go off the top a bit. Probably going to put it on like this. I like that. Well, I don't know if I like this, but does that matter if I'm going to put her here? No. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, good. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to cut the stem off and then decide I wanted it, but now I know I don't really care if it's there or not. All right. My gosh, we are pulling it together. We're almost done. And that's a quote-unquote done, of course, because you can always come back and glue more stuff and change stuff as much as you want. But for me, I think I'm almost done. All right. Well, let's get the lady on. Miss Easter Bonnet. We'll get her on. And then we have to figure out where those girls are going to go. The girls. Thinking of Gru and Despicable Me. He always says, girls, like that. All right, So she's going to look good right here. My gosh, I am so excited. We've almost covered up Jemima Puddle Duck, but we haven't. Yes, we're going to glue all this stuff down. We're going to glue this down. This was part of a cover, so this is actually thicker than usual. This flower right here. They're actually made out of beads, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're beads. Okay, let's put the girls on the page. I think they look good right about here. Yes. I like that very much. And then I've covered like pretty much everything up. I do still have this bird. I could put this bird down now. I think you lose that bird. And then I have these flowers I could put there if I wanted to kind of finish off that edge a little bit. Right here. I could do that. So that is not, yeah, let's just do that. Now see, even though I'm pretty much done, where there's like a hard edge, like right there or there, I may come back in with a flower. That's sort of the thing that I might do later, is like add a flower or two, just because I like when images flow. I don't always like hard edges. Sometimes I do. And I have a little space there. Let me see if I have a little something. I know what I have. This was a little picture of these flower people, and I've been putting them on the pages in this book. So I think I'm going to cut out somebody, and I could put them right there, or I could put them sitting on the lady's shoulder. So let me cut somebody out and we'll see where they go. Okay, so here's our little character there. Little rose fairy sort of character. So I could put them like, I'm not going to put them there. I could put them on the shoulder, kind of hanging out. I could put them hanging out over here with this lady. I feel like they look good right here. I feel like that needs something right there where there's not really anything happening. So let's put that there. And I did say I was going to add a sticker because I didn't have a sticker that was already here, and I wanted to put a sticker on every page. So let me go see if I can find some sort of a sticker I can put on here, maybe right there, or actually I could take this as part of this image here. I could even take this. I actually am going to do that. I'm just going to cover up this space with this ripped piece here. I can just do like that kind of a thing. Cover it up for the most part. And you can even do that in the spaces where you want to blend something, you know, if you don't want that hard line. Okay, but I'm still going to go see. I'm going to clean up the edges here, and I'm going to see if I have a sticker I can use on here to kind of finish it off. And I'll be right back. Okay, I have a bunch of sakura flowers, and they're all stickers. I mean, they're all in this book here. They're all different sort of, well, that's not sakura flowers, but, and neither is that. Actually, I take that back. Some of these are cherry blossoms like these, and some are not. Oh, this one has some petals, so, but I think these are more of like a see-through, so you might not be able to see them very well, except for right there. Let's try it. We'll put one on that sort of spot. Nah, you don't really see that too much. So I'm not going to use those ones, but I'm going to use these ones. They've got a little bit of a shine. I've had them for years. So let's see if these look good on here. I'm going to put one right there, and it adds a little bit of shine, a little bit of sparkle to the page. And then I've got another one over here. Let me see, I've got a big branch here. I can add this. Can I add this like right here? Yep, okay. And we have some little ones too. I could add some little ones. We could put one. We could put one. Where can we put one? Let's put one in the air for Jemima Puddle Duck to fly by. And then this is another like branch sort of one. And I think I'll put that like here to blend those pictures a bit. Maybe right here to blend right there. But yeah, it's nice too because it'll give the page some shine, some sparkle. You can't really see that one, but it might just do its job of blending. Let me see, maybe the girls. Let's see, which girl could have one? Put one in the basket, maybe a smaller one. Maybe one that's a little bit smaller will go right in the basket there. And then, do we want another one? Maybe I'll give the lady one on her hat. She's got her Easter bonnet with her eggs. Let's give her some flowers as well. There we go. Oh, over here, though, I need a tree branch. I think that would look good. Coming out from this one, kind of do that. And then let's get some more flowers. Put those there. And then, do I have another cluster? Here's some more. We can just have it kind of going across to that image. There we go. We'll have this one flying in the air too. And that does it for these pages in the altered book. I am really happy with it. I'm really happy we found some pictures with some ladies and girls wearing bonnets and even a shawl. I love all the birds looking at Jemima Puddle Duck flying. We've got lots of flowers. We've got our tree stump. And I think we've done it. Oh, we remembered to put our little flower person down there. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you again soon.